go live in like 10 seconds after I hit the button. Oh, I'm live. Okay. Okay, so welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lauren. This is me sewing the olive vanity bag. I apologize for the view. My phone is dying, so we'll make this work. Changes I'm making to this pattern are I'm making it a non-drop-in lining. I'm adding a zippered pocket, and I think that's kind of it other than the top handle. So let's do this. Hello, everybody. I'm gonna start by adding a zippered pocket because without it, I'm not sure how I would safely berth the bag. So that was one change I made. Cut a 9-inch zipper for the inner zippered pocket. And then I'm going to cut like a 19-inch zipper for the main zipper because I want plenty excess. I have this neon green zipper tape. Oh, you've always wanted to make one, Inga? Oh, I'm excited. The last one I made was for my grandma's cousin. It turned out really cute, but I did make it as a drop-in, so I decided this time I don't want to make it a drop-in. Oh yeah, this looks just as good as I'd hoped. So I'm using this neon green zipper for my handmade space and rainbow zipper pulls, and it looks gorgeous. Well, I like it anyway. And when you're making Christmas gifts, really all that matters is if you like it, right? So I had an idea for a new woven label that said, "I'm not perfect, but neither are you." I guess some people thought it was a little too rude, so I decided not to do it. I thought it was funny. Get in there. Yes. Didn't want to leave you all. You delivered on those thumbs up, so I couldn't. An "It's Fine" label? Oh my god, I totally will do that. That's amazing. There we go. I did order some that say "may contain cat hair." I'm not perfect, but neither. Yeah. And then I was gonna do "imperfectly perfect," which is a nicer way of putting it. I was like, eh. Now I'm nervous about making one. No, it's okay. You can do it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and press this. And this. And then grab this. I did read over the pattern before I started the video, but I do have the pattern next to me on my iPad in case I need to refer to it. All my handmade gifts come with cat hair. So I'm marking out a zipper pocket that's 7 inches. So what I'm going to try and do with this live video is edit it down after I upload it, so it'll be available as a live video, or as a more focused tutorial. So in case you guys are wondering why I sound more tutorial-y than chatty, that's why. So we'll see how this goes. Hi, Carla. All right, so I am sewing the zipper box. I like to make 2 parallel lines. And I don't sew a box around the outside just because I find it easier and less puckery. And I'm going to cut that open. Made with Chihuahua hair. Oh, I love that. Lo, did you ever get the labels that you ordered? I know you emailed me about them missing from your order, and I'm like 90% sure I sent them in your last order, but I just wanted to verify. Because those are the kinds of things I lose sleep over at night, guys. Alright, so I'm flipping this through, and then I'm going to press it using lots of steam. Again, this bag doesn't normally have a zipper pocket, but this is how we're going to birth it. And in case people put like jewelry or something in their vanity bag and they want to have a nice little zipper. Use a lot of steam. Oh yay, good. I'm glad. Okay. So then I'm lining up the zipper, making sure the ends go off into the seam allowance so that they don't poke through. Or like start to fray later on. And then I'm holding the zipper in place. If you're new to bag making, you may want to use like double-sided tape or glue stick or pins or something to help keep it in place. Bobbin sounds like it's getting empty. Hey Bobbin, can you do me a favor and just make it through the zipper pocket and then I'll change you? Like, please? Thank you. Thank you so much. So it has taken me a while to be able to hear my bobbin, but you can kind of start to hear it like making a, like, it sounds less full. So here's how much I had left on my bobbin. It wasn't much, but it was all getting kind of mangled together. Oh, you can't see that at all. Still can't, okay. There wasn't a lot, take my word. So now we'll switch to a fresh bobbin. Through, under. So I'm going to add the back side of my zippered pocket, and we're going to leave the bottom open. I'm going to trim all that down. My bobbin warns me. Yeah. That's always nice to have a machine that actually makes a little beep 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 when you're out of bobbin, not just in general. Alright, so I'm folding that up, steaming. And then I'm going to make little snips at my center marks. Where'd it go? There'd it go. There we go. And then I'll set that aside because I'm done with that. I'm going to leave my zipper open about halfway. So there's our finished zipper pocket. And then I'm going to move along to the front panel and the slip pocket, just to kind of get all the pockets out of the way. Okay, so we're sewing around this opening here. How much bigger do you cut your zipper lining than the pocket size? That is a tough question, and I'm not sure I quite understand. I mean, really, you just have to consider how big your lining is and if it can handle a 7-inch pocket. Okay, so I secured my stitching at the top, and I'm just slowly going around the circle. I'm securing my stitch. Ooh, I'll use my pinking shears. Okay. So then I'm gonna cut that open very carefully, making sure I don't cut through my stitches. But you want to cut pretty close to them. I've been wanting to do some like cute vinyl overlays with pinking shears, like the little triangle cuts, but I just haven't done it. Okay. Alrighty. So there's that. And then I'm going to press this through. So circles can be tricky to not get puckered, and especially since this is vinyl, I can't press it. So I'm just going to do the best I can, which is what we should all do every day. And use these clips to kind of hold everything in place. So I'm just rolling the seam in between my fingers, my fingies. If you need to, you can kind of steam the waterproof canvas a little bit so it's not so tough, but this seems to be working just fine. Someone said, why don't you cut closer? You absolutely can, but I know this vinyl isn't going to really pucker. If that's what you mean. You can like snip. You can kind of snip around your seam allowance, but the pinking shears kind of do that for you. Alright, so I'm going to switch my stitch length to a 4.5, and I'm going to go around the opening really slow. And then I'm going to baste around the whole pocket and trim off my excess. I think I've added piping to this opening before too, and it looked super cute, but I just didn't feel like it. Sorry, mother-in-law. And the reason I don't want to cut that seam allowance too short is because I like to have a little bit of bulk in the seam. I just think it kind of gives it a nice feeling. Kind of like when you top stitch an NCW or something and it's just got that nice feeling. I don't know. Okay, so I'm at the top and I'm just gonna baste around. Probably should have interfaced my vinyl a little bit. It is thin and stretching a little bit. So that's why it looks a little puckered there, is because it's stretched out. It's weird not seeing you sew at 100 miles per hour. Yeah. Alright, so now I'm just going to trim my excess waterproof canvas. Something you can do if your vinyl has a little bit of stretch is either interface it with Decaville Light, being very careful and leaving it out of the seam allowances, or you can even use SF101 or Woven Fuse. I've done that before to get rid of stretch and just like fused it very quickly, but you can see it's not awesome. It does have a little bit of that wobble to it, but hopefully it'll be okay. Okay, so now I'm going to lay this down on my main panel, clip all the way around. It's so cute. And then I'm going to sew, I'm going to baste it, and then we're going to add piping. So I'm going to use my base stitch to like a 5. And what this base stitch is doing is holding the top piece in place, but it's also compressing our foam at that seam to make it easier to sew a little bit. You can also use a serger for this part, well, before you fuse it all together to compress the foam. I'm back stitching at the top of that pocket just to help hold that in place a little bit better, just in case. You never know. So there is it. So cute. So this right here is just like a big slip pocket. And this looks worse on camera because of the lighting than it really is in person. So yeah, whatever. It's not perfect, but neither is she. Alright, so I am pressing my piping. This is just pre-made piping from Rivets. Oh, okay. So I'm going to fold it in half. Oh, I don't need to fold it in half. That's right. So I'm just going to make a little snip at my center. The top too, because why not? Boop. All right. And then on the bottom, that's where we kind of angle this out. So I'm going to line that up. And I'm just going to slowly stretch this around the outer edge. I am leaving a little bit of fabric showing because the width of this is not 1/2 inch, which our seam allowance is. So you just want to clip around the outer edge. I'm getting flashbacks of like the first time I ever made this bag, and it was for my grandmother, my grandma Susie, for Christmas like 5 years ago. And I remember I finished it and I showed CJ because I was so proud, and he was like, I was like, hey, I made this. And he's like, no, you didn't. I was like, yes, I did. He's like, no, you didn't. I was like, dude, yeah, I did. And then he looked at it hard and he was like, oh, yeah, you messed up here and here. Okay, yeah, you handmade it. And I was just like, rude. So, yeah. It wasn't perfect, but neither is he. Okay. So there's what that looks like. You can see here, there's just that little bit showing around the edge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to base this piping in place for my walking foot. I'm just going to follow right along the edge of the piping. You don't want to sew way too close to it. You don't want to sew through it or anything like that. You're just basting, giving yourself a place to follow along. So if you have this machine, it's my inside foot that's just walking right along the edge. Hey, Manuel. So that's going to keep it in place and kind of give you a guide, but you're going to sew it tighter. And they have like piping feet and stuff like that you could use, but I've just kind of gotten used to this. And you can of course make your own piping. It's not hard at all. It seems hard, but it's not. I don't cut on the bias if I do make my own piping, so maybe that's why it's not that hard. Okay, just following right along the edge. And then what I'm gonna do is, you can maybe see this edge here is folding up of the piping, and it's possible that it could fold up into the seam. So I'm gonna sew right along the outer edge, compressing the foam again, so no biggie, to keep that down. Hopefully you can see. So there's the manufacturer's stitch line. There's my stitch line, and then my outer basting stitch line. So when we sew it all together, I'm going to come in about 1/8 of an inch so that we're like really tight up against that piping. So now we can move on to the back panel and add the piping to that. And then I'll add my slip pocket, and then we'll work on the side panel. Moving right along. It's like, where's my piping? That's right, I threw it on the ground. I'm gonna finish pressing this. You just want to use steam, heat, get all the folds and wrinkles out. I really need to call Oliso because this just doesn't want to steam like it used to. Okay. So again, oh yeah, there's my centers. Center. I love this iron. Hi Lauren, I've been designing my own bag since I was a teenager. Oh yay. Someone emailed me the other day to ask a question. She was like, I'm so sorry if this isn't the best place to ask you. And I want you guys to know you're always more than welcome to email me with any questions or just to say hello. I'll email back if I can. A lot of times I read things and then I get distracted and don't respond. But just know that I read it if you send it. Or you can leave a comment here. I always read those, especially when I can't fall asleep. Oh yeah, another reminder is that the Dallas workshop that I announced the other day is open. The ticket sales are open. Saturday is almost full, but Sunday is wide open. So if you guys are thinking about coming, make sure you sign up soon. We're so excited. It's going to be so fun. And it is just like a really quick one-day thing. So if you find a quick, like a cheap flight, it's worth it to come. So worth it. I saw a lot of names I recognized that already signed up, and I was just like, yay, I'm so excited to see everybody, meet everybody. And Anne has worked so hard to put this all together, and I'm just so thankful. All right, basting the other side, piping together, and I'm not starting anywhere in particular. I'm just kind of starting and following along the edge nice and slow. If you're using a domestic foot or a domestic machine to make this bag, if you can, I would switch to a zipper foot because that will help if your machine came with one. That's what I used to use, I think. That or I just had like a broken walking foot and I used those. Where did I get these hair clips? I buy them from Sally Beauty. They have like a box of 100. For pretty cheap. Alright, so now I'm moving along to the outer edge. Oh, Maria, that makes total sense. Alright, so there is the other panel. You could add a slip pocket to this side if you wanted, or like a zipper pocket too. That would be cute. I think I'm going to add my nameplate on this side. Okay, so I found a mostly green nameplate. Kind of add it to the lower back side. Oh, Donna, that's so cool. All right. Yeah, Maria. All right, so there is nameplate attached. Stephanie asked, do I make most of my Christmas gifts? Kind of. I always try to, just because, I don't know, it's not something you can buy at a store. I find it's cheaper, sort of. But if I've made people a lot of things and they don't seem to care, I kind of stop doing handmade gifts. And I just buy them stuff. I don't know. Okay, so I've just top stitched along the top of the slip pocket. And then I'm going to use 1/4 inch wide double-sided tape along the bottom to fold that up. Although, no, I probably will. I don't know that I want the slip pocket all the way down to the bottom. This is a 6 inch by 12 inch piece that I cut. You don't need the whole thing. I'll be cutting off some excess. I don't know, I'm not really tired. So I think I might sew mini backpacks and watch Vampire Diaries all night. There we go. Yeah, that looks great. So I'm adding it about 1.5 inches or so from the bottom. Whoop, that didn't help. And then I'm just gonna top stitch in a U. Hey Bianca, how's it going? Yeah, problem. Yeah. I agree. I mean, they can use blankets. That's about it. Yeah, I don't feel like I ever make my husband anything either. Okay, folding this in half, snipping the center. I keep waiting to see if he ever walks in. Guys, I feel like we have an orange door hinge situation. Do we have a moderator? Okay, so all of my main panels are finished. I'm gonna say yeah, Sandra. Sandra. I will get it right. I'm the worst. Forever and ever. Okay. Zipper panel and main panel. I love the orange door. Oh, hi. It was really awesome to meet you at DragonCon. It was the best. Yeah, how many do they need? Yeah, that's so true. CJ's dad's girlfriend, we're always like, we have no idea what to get her. Yes, I was at DragonCon. Oh, yay. That's right, it just shipped too. Okay, so for the bottom panel, I'm adding piping to either side. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, I was at DragonCon. I was on the 3rd floor in the vendor hall. DragonCon is so large though, so I don't blame you. Hello, how's it going? All right, so I'm adding piping and I'm gonna baste it just the same way. I will not be going back next year. Mellory, if I have a video posted for the For the Love of Change pouch, I would watch that one, and if you don't have that pattern, that's a good one to start with piping. Yeah, I would really like to go back, but it's just too expensive and too far away to be worth it. I think it's like a day of travel, 4 days of the show. It's just too much. Much too much. Sidebar thread question. Do you use it in your bobbin as well? Yes. Yes, I'm so excited for C2E2. Because now I have my bag, yay. Yes, C2E2, I'm so excited. I'm so nervous though. I'm worried that we won't do as well as we did last year, but I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, I'm super, super stoked. Yeah, it is so expensive. C2E2 is. Okay, so here's my bottom panel. If you want to add purse feet or something, now's the time, but you want to keep them closer to the center. So I'm going to set that aside because it's over now. And I'm going to add my zipper. Do I have help at the conventions? I do, absolutely. Right now I'm making a vanity bag for my mother-in-law. We're crazy in Chicago. You'll do great. That's true. This will be my 3rd year at C2E2. I was like 4th? No, 3rd. First year was with yeah. Yes, I do have help. I actually have my friend Tammy, who works for me cutting and interfacing. She comes. Her daughter, also my friend, comes. And then my husband comes to help. Yeah, we've got a huge team. It's the best. I'm so excited. Last year was insane. So I hope to be able to like walk around and whatnot. I kind of wanted to ask if I could have a panel, but I don't know why I would have a panel. There's not that many people in Chicago, but Could be fun, right? Okay, so I am putting the exterior fabric, zipper, and lining all together. Like I mentioned in the cutting and interfacing video, I cut off 1/2 inch of these pieces so that it wouldn't be a drop-in lining. And then I'm going to flip this, steam it, and then top stitch. So I'm folding this down and top stitching. I may need to trim this panel down a little bit more, but we shall see. Make sure you move your zipper heads out of the way. Make sure your lining is completely pressed. Otherwise you could have trouble opening your zipper. So this is the main thing we're changing about the pattern. And I did not add foam to the main panel. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's the best. Best. Okay, so I'm adding the exterior panel that my handle is going to go on. Do not tell me how many days there are until C2E2. I have been working since November to be prepped. I don't think I'm ready. The zipper pulls that I'm using are actually my original design. They're little flowers, like little tattoo flowers. They're so cute. I love them. Okay, so we're sewing that down again. I'm gonna add my handle after basting it together and top stitching, and just move my lining out of the way because I have to refer to my pattern. So I'm going to press that open. Press this open. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to cut off about 1/2 inch from each side again. Or maybe not, but we're gonna have to cut some. I did. So there's what our panel is looking like. I added 2 zipper pulls so it can open a little bit easier instead of one side to the other, so. I may post about it later. Woo! All right, so. Hopefully you can see. Okay, my zipper panel is way bigger than it should be, so I need to cut even more down from the pattern, but that's okay. I think I'm gonna cut it off the back panel so that it's more even, a little more even, I should say. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line these. I'm gonna line these up, and then I'm going to use my ruler to trace and then trim it off. So I think it's about, yeah, it's about 1 inch over. So I needed to trim 1 inch from each side. So basically where the pattern piece says to fold over, you wanna just cut that off completely. If you're doing it with a non-drop-in lining. So now I know also. So the reason I'm taking this off the back of it is because then it gets a little more centered, the zipper. I don't know. Why do we do the things we do? Okay. Will I regret this? I mean, maybe. Oh, that sounds awesome. I love Supernatural. I mean, if it's not a Supernatural reference, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with it. To make ourselves crazy. Okay, so there's my excess that I cut off. Goodbye. Forever. Alright. So now I can add my handle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this lining out of the way. You can sew it through your lining, and that would make it more difficult. So don't sew it through your lining. I'm going to fold it down and clip it. Like so. So it's out of the way. And I'm going to refer to the pattern for this part. But basically we're going to make these strap connectors. I'm going to use double-sided tape. Me and Tammy are going to the Supernatural Convention in Indiana next year, and I'm so excited. We have our gold VIP tickets and all the photo ops. Oh no. Oh, Tracy, I'm sorry. And we never got to FaceTime about it. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm folding these right sides together. Wrong sides together. What did I even just say? All right. Raw ends to the center. I'm adding a little piece of double-sided tape close to the back edge. Angel, you want to tape them down. Okay, so I'm folding this edge over, and the reason I'm folding more over closer to the connector is so that there's more security, and then if you want to add a rivet, you're actually securing it instead of weakening it. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So there is my connector, and then I'm going to add another piece of double-sided tape. And if your machine gets gummed up by double-sided tape, I would suggest using thinner double-sided tape and then trying to avoid sewing through it. Okay. And then another piece of double-sided tape. Go. And then refer to the pattern. So it looks like I want it to be 4.25. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I help you? Okay, have fun. I'll miss you.
No.
Good night.
Good night.
Wait, do you want to see it?
What? Oh, my mom's room?
Yeah. Tell me if you think she'll like it. Fix it.
Well, I can't tell if you're on or not. If I do this, will it mess anything up?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Fix my Wi-Fi problem.
Oh, shoot.
What did you do?
I don't know.
Can you not break everything?
No. I mean, I'm connected to your Wi-Fi.
My Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Our Wi-Fi?
Our Wi-Fi.
Everyone says good night. Good night. Bye. What? No, I didn't mean you had to leave. Okay. Sewing a square. around these connectors. Decaville is very expensive. I purchased mine from gotinterfacing.com. But I think Cereal Bag Makers also carries it, as well as a few others. Not sure. Maybe other people have suggestions. Vita! Vita in the house. Definitely gonna add a rivet to this. Good prices, fast shipping. Well, there you go. If it's good for Vita, it's good for me. And it looks like she's got hardware and zipper tape now. I really want to try the zipper tape. Okay. Just repeating, sewing those on. And I believe it's 3/4 of an inch for the small one and 1 inch for the big one. But honestly, you can tweak those measurements to be whatever you need them to be. In the house. Okay, I'm kind of hyper because I just woke up from a long sleep. How are you doing otherwise? All right. So I'm going to quickly add rivets. Is waterproof canvas the same as wax canvas? No. Yeah, I could see that. Ow. Make sure you ask around first where to get a rivet press. I have nowhere that I wholeheartedly recommend, so no help. Oh, hey. So now we're ready to make the handle for this guy. I'm doing the handle pretty differently than how it is suggested. I'm gonna do a double-sided handle, so I've cut this piece to 2 inches. I'm gonna tape down the center and fold the raw ends in. Cam snaps. Press is pretty good. Nice. Nice. Okay, folding those raw ends down to the center. Kind of butting them up against each other. And then for this piece, I interfaced the cotton with Woven Fuse and then a scrap of Decaville Light that's 1 inch. And then I'm going to fold that end over and steam. Give it a nice crisp pressing. And that Decaville Light being in there, you can also use Craft Fuse or Woven Fuse. It's just going to help it keep its shape and kind of guarantee that it's 1 inches. So then you can lay that over top, clip it together, or tape it together. I think I'm probably just going to tape it together. But I wanted you to be able to see a little bit of tink on the top. A little tink on the top. Why are you the way that you are? My mother would say. No, she wouldn't. No, she wouldn't. And the Sunshine Wristlet has a really great tutorial on double-sided straps. And it's also a free pattern. And you can even trim this piece down to 3/4 of an inch. And then when you lay it on top, you'll see a little bit of the vinyl and a little bit of the vinyl and the top fabric. I don't know what I'm saying. My brain just went. Bleh. Okay, so then I'm just gonna trim this to be the same size because when I fold it over and under, it's gonna be fine. So there is what a double-sided strap looks like. If you don't have an industrial, this could be a great way to reduce thickness. You just want to make sure that you cover your raw ends or fold them over before you sew it all together. And you do not need to add Decaville. You can just use the Woven Fuse or SF101. It's totally personal preference. I just wanted this bag to have like a little bit of oomph. And then I'm sewing around all 4 sides. Oh, and the straps for the mini, I love that. I really want to do more double-sided straps, but I'm so lazy. Well, I don't know if I'm lazy. I don't know. I just don't. Okay, so then I'm gonna test this strap and see if I need to cut it down anymore. I do want it to be quite robust. Oh, it's so cute. Okay. Yeah, this seems good. Because I want it to have a little bit to it. So I will tell you the measurements that I cut this down to. It's about 10.5 inches. Hi, Leah, not Leah. So I can set that aside. We don't need it anymore. So all I need to do is attach the bottom panel to the exterior and the lining. So what I'm going to do, yeah, I've been doing this on my mini backpacks and it really helps me keep my seam allowances where they should be. I'm gonna measure 1/2 inch. Orange door hinge, or in his case, a golden door hinge. There, I don't want to assume. Okay then. That was uncalled for. People are weird. Guess that's one plus about the YouTube lives. Hey, Connor. No. Dad kicked you out of bed, didn't he? All right, so what I'm doing on this zipper panel is marking 1/2 inch seam allowance. Hey, Ben. What are you doing? All right, and then I'm going to start with the exterior. My piping, I sewed it on a little too tight, so I'm not sure if I want to remove it and re-sew it or just not worry about it. But I'm gonna lay We hardly ever see Connor. Yeah. He sleeps on the couch over there, so we never really get to see him. The other night I was sitting on the couch and I was like, I wonder if I should do a Connor sewing pin. Alright, so then I'm going to sew this on at 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I'm covering up the piping. So I think I'll remove it and re-sew it, because I really do want to see the piping. I think it'll give it a little pizzazz. Ben is the master, yeah. He's made a little sass master earlier. Master of sassimony. Was that you? Were you annoying the crap out of me about 12 hours ago? Well, that means I've been working for 12 hours today. I wanted to make what is the deal with orange? So Cherish, anytime we have a weird commenter, a weird visitor on this channel when we're live, we like to say orange door hinge because it's a fruit that we need to show the door. So, I don't know. That's all it is. Okay, so I'm removing it. We're gonna try it again. The reason I feel comfortable removing it is because you're not going to see the perforation marks that I made in the vinyl because I need to sew past that. So. All right. So about like that. So we want to see about 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch? Yeah, about 1/4 inch of the vinyl. And then I'm going to pull on the piping so that there are no wrinkles. Okay, so that should be, yeah, that should be better. All right. Now we're ready to sew it all together. I still don't think you're gonna see the piping. Gosh darn it. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not doing it again. Do we have weird commenters? More weird commenters. All right, stitch length of 4. I do not use ripstop as lining. I use the waterproof canvas. And I get it at fwdfabrics.com. Unless I didn't read your question correctly. In which case, I do apologize for that. Okay. Right sides together. All doodling together. 1/2 inch seam allowance, which I've already marked out. And then I'm sewing as close to the zipper panel as possible. I ready for Christmas? No. Not at all. Nah. Oh my gosh, this is awful. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just sew over the piping. I'm not gonna try and fix that. I'm just gonna hide the piping. We're just gonna pretend it never existed. Ugh, that's okay. All right, let's see what that looks like now. Whoops. Much better. Okay, so I've got a really stiff side seam now. That is piping. Okay, so now instead of sewing across that whole seam, we're just gonna top stitch next to the zipper, just the width of the zipper. And you could add like a little pull tab of vinyl here if you wanted to, but I'm just gonna top stitch through that and through the lining as well, but only the width of your zipper. Right there. Right there, so that these can still come free. Poor piping. Poor Mr. Chuckles. Yeah, the zipper is awesome. Okay. So I was able to fix that mistake because I've made that mistake before. Question, I want to make a simple tote bag for my family. I don't have on a durable hand stitch. Ooh, I do not know. I kind of have this mindset that doesn't have to be perfect. No one knows what it was supposed to look like, so if it doesn't turn out, it's okay, and it's just sewing. So, yeah. The piping issue won't affect combining the pieces. No, not at all. So you can use zipper by the yard, which kind of helps you have every zipper size that you need, but I do this for a living, so I make sure that I'm stocked with everything. But I remember a time where I'd be going to Walmart at midnight because I was working on a bag and I had to hope they had something. Or because I worked at Hancock, I'd just go into work the next day and grab it. All right, let's see if I covered the piping for this. Not quite. Okay. We're just increasing our seam allowance a little bit. That's okay. Whoop. Grab, 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 grab. Ooh. Thank you, universe. So I thought I was sewing through my lining, but I wasn't. Yay. Let's double check that next time, shall we? My kind of solution? Eliminate it. The quilt I'm making now has been nothing but tears. Oh no. It's looking so cute though. I've seen your pictures on Instagram and it's so cute. That is the worst though, when family wants something and you're like, this was so hard, but you know they'll appreciate it. I can't. Oh, I was looking for my other piece. It's right here. Hello. Okay, so piping eliminated. Problem solved. Okay, so I'm clipping the bottom. There we go. And then we're going to open this up and top stitch through everything. So if your lining is a little bit tighter along the bottom, that's okay. You're allowed to have a smaller lining. So now we're going to fold this down like this and top stitch. Well, crud. Oh, my back. Okay, so I didn't quite sew through my lining, and that is an issue, so I'm going to do it again. I cannot remove those stitches, so I'll just add 2 lines of stitching, and then I'll replicate it on the other side. Problem solved. There we go. Okay, make sure everything you don't want to sew through is out of the way. There we go. Alright. Another thing I could do just for fun is kind of add a rivet between the two. Oops, be that much more fun. Alright, I'm going to trim down all my excess thread. I'm going to trim out the piping. We're going to pretend that never happened. Goodbye. So the piping is just going to act as like a boning for the bag and really help those sides stand up. Hey, why not? It's fine. Alright. So now what I want to do is fold the bottom panel in half and snip the centers. Okay. And then I'm going to snip the center on the lining as well. Is my lining too big? It might be. Well, it's too late to change it, so it is what it is. Alright. Ooh, I know what I could do. Yeah, girl. Alright. So my lining is too big because I don't know if you guys saw how I messed up the piping and had to fix it. Well, what I can do is cut this in half in the center and then sew it together so it kind of looks like the lining was pieced together in the bottom. So I'll go ahead and flip this out this way. Well, no, it's fine this way. It's fine. It's fine. I think it'll be fine. This is fine. Okay, so I'm snipping the center of my lining. Good to go. So we are going to start with the exterior, no, the lining front. So I'm gonna grab my slip pocket, got the centers, and this is the front. Did I snip the center of my main panel? The top? No, I did not. Finding my center and a snip. Finding my center and snip. This is the front. So I'm separating the panel from the exterior. Please keep in mind this is my first time making this a non-drop-in bag, but it should work just like any of the others that I've done this for. You could also make this with binding if you wanted, or you could do the drop-in. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Whatever you're into. Slowly clipping. The reason I like to start with the lining is because it's easier to kind of smush out of the way than a heavily interfaced exterior would be. And then I'm just kind of pinching it together. Bada boom. We're just gonna sew in the round. If that's not a thing, I'm making it a thing. And then because this is the lining, I want to use a bit bigger of a seam allowance. Make sure my exterior is out of the way. And just take it clip by clip. And then I'm going to trim down my excess. Alright, and then we'll grab the front panel, which is the one with the slip pocket. I'm going to push this way. Grab my front panel. Line up my center. Yes, my zippers are nylon. And I'm gonna want to sew along this inside so that my binding is nice and tight. Binding, piping. And this is round, so we may need to use the stapler. We'll see. Is my center not my center? Something happened? It's a little tight on this side. So maybe I'll unclip this. Let's see. I'm gonna fold this in half and find like the true centers. See if that's any better. Just a little bit. There was just a little bit off. Alright, that feels a little bit better. So then I'm just slowly clipping, making sure everything is good. Feels nice. Yep, yep. That side's good. I feel like it's not going to hurt to staple this together. Ooh, my stapler. There it is. So, I want to carefully add staples within your seam allowance. Keep in mind the piping. Make sure you're stapling through your vinyl as well. And I'm just doing it in a few areas that might come loose. And then I'll just trim this out later. This is just a little stapler from Office Depot, but they have them at Walmart for super cheap. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of start this side. And then again, for the piping, we want to come in about half an inch, or not half an inch, like 1/8 of an inch. And this is gonna make it so it's nice and tight up against the piping. And you just want to go as slow as you can and feel that piping with your finger through the seam if you can. My stitch length is at about a 4.5. I'm sure your panels haven't shifted. Okay, I'm readjusting as I get to the curves. Well, Well, this whole bag is a curve, but to the bottom curve. And just make sure you leave your needle in when you readjust. Nothing underneath that I shouldn't be sewing through. Okay, nothing is shifted. Yeah, we're good. I'm adding a few more clips as I work my way around. Just to, so I know nothing's moved. If you used staples, make sure you're being careful of your hands because they can hurt you. Okay. We can breathe. So now before I trim this down, I'm gonna check around the edge, make sure I didn't miss anything. Looks okay, not great. So I'm gonna flip it through and make sure my shoulder is okay. It still hurts, but not as bad as it did. Thank you for asking. So flip it through. Just to make sure that I like the way the piping looks, and I don't at all. I'm gonna have to sew closer. Well, in some areas, I'll sew closer. Yeah, I'm gonna go around again and sew a little tighter because up here looks pretty bad. Ow, that was a staple. Otherwise, it's okay, but not great. Like, it looks terrible. I think it just needs to be pressed, but I'm gonna sew around again in those little problem areas. Okay, so I'm gonna sew around the edge again. Come in just a little bit tighter than I did before, which I may regret. Yeah, staples definitely bite. And I can pull those out now. That's one thing that's hard about using foam with piping is that you can't feel it as easily. Back to where I started, so I feel better about that. I knew that happened. I knew it. Alright, it's not too bad. I still need to try grommets. Luckily it didn't miss that much. There we go. Both my cats are sleeping on the couch over there. Alright, trimming through. Watch out for those zippers, or those staples. Make sure you don't use scissors you really, really love and cherish forever and ever. Try not sewing through anything you shouldn't be. Okay. Goodbye. I do have two cats, Ben and Connor. Connor just isn't as vocal and needy. There we go. Oh, that looks so much better. Glad I re-sewed it. Yeah. So the way piping should look is just that nice, tight look. So when I get this all finished and pressed out, it'll look much better. So we're gonna do the lining backside, and then we'll do the exterior. So we're gonna pull that separate. Make sure you keep track of where the top is and where the bottom is. Okay. All right, so start with our top center, and we are gonna leave the bottom of this lining unsewn and pull it through. I don't think I'll be able to get it through the zipper pocket since there is foam and all of that. So yeah, we're just gonna clip around the top curve a little bit, and then I'll clip the bottom. Now, while I am clipping the bottom together, I'm not sewing it together. So keep that in mind. We're gonna clip it together, but we're not gonna sew it together. And the smaller olive is so cute. I don't know if that one would be easier, but I think next time I make it, I'll just leave off the side piping. And that would help a lot, because right now my panels are a little bunchy because I overdid the seam allowances on the exterior. So that's my bad. You have to know the consequences of your mistakes. Yeah, the smaller version is adorable. Alright, so I'm gonna sew in the round, and I'm gonna start about here, come all the way around, and end right about there. And again, I'm gonna use a bigger seam allowance for the lining than the exterior so that it isn't baggy or saggy. And I know my bobbin won't run out because it's nice and fresh. Alright, so I'm getting towards the bottom. So I'm going to end my stitching. Make sure I end it with a back stitch. And then I'm going to trim my excess. So now we're going to push everything through like that. Make sure you keep track of where the top is and clip that together. And then I'm actually going to reach in through the zipper pocket to unzip the top zipper. I'm not going to do it now because I find that it kind of makes the shape of my bag a little wonky. If it's unzipped, things could shift that I may not want to shift. So, totally personal preference. And I know I can easily get those unzipped if I need to. When I need to. Not if, I definitely need to. Weird. Just doesn't look like my centers are my centers anymore. So I'm gonna re-fold this back panel. And cut my centers a little bit better. Very strange. Ah, okay. I wasn't lining up that back panel just right, I don't think. Okay, so there's my bottom. There's the bag bottom. Adding a few clips to the bottom, and then I'm going to clip the top. I think my problem was that I'm clipping too much at once on one side, and then the other side gets a little off. So I need to clip it a little more evenly, one side to the other. My face is getting a little red, so you can tell I'm getting frustrated with this bag. It's going to be cute, though. I think it's just because my seam allowance is man. Maybe I'll make some Devons before I go to bed so I can feel like I'm good at sewing again. This is easy. All right, that side looks good. This is actually a Christmas present for my mom. Mother-in-law. Well, my mom. I'm so bad. I haven't made anything for my birth mother. Makes it sound like I was adopted or something, but I just don't know what my mom would want. Although I'm sure she would love anything I made. She'd probably want me to go back in time and not get a tattoo. If she knew. If she watches this, she might know now. No, she probably knows. Okay. All right. It's not bad. Is it great? No. But it'll work. So I'm gonna add just a few clips. My mom doesn't like homemade gifts. Oh. That's a shame. I know my mom does. I just don't know what she'd like. Or what she needs. I know she wants a new, like, tote bag, so maybe I'll try and put one together. She's not too picky, but, you know, she's particular on what she likes. People are allowed to be. So I don't know. Like, if someone likes a fandom, that's easy. They're probably gonna like whatever you get. Oh no! Tracy, we can fix it. I'll be there in 5 hours. I wouldn't know what to make my mommy there. I know, right? Took my crossbody off my body. I think my mom would like some bowl cozies if I made some, but... I almost threw those away. Don't throw that away. Reloaded. Where did I end off? Right here? Up here? This looks right. Okay. Stretch. Stretch. Oh, Cheryl. Yes. Just stapling the outer edge within those 2 stitch lines on the piping or right on the edge of the first stitch of piping. All right, so I'm coming in quite a bit more than I did the first time. And just following along. So if you have this same machine, what I'm doing is following, so there's technically 3 parts to the foot. So there's the center and then the outer feet, and I'm following right here. Yeah, everyone is making the Infinity Pocket scarves. I know that's not the way it's said, but my mind is not with it at the moment. I know I made some Infinity scarves again this year because I have nice knits. And they've been selling pretty well. I don't know that I really like the pocket, so I'm not adding the pocket. But I think it'd be pretty quick to add with a serger. I almost thought, like, my sister Sarah would really like one, but she's in Florida. She doesn't need one. I should say she's in Tampa. Some parts in Florida get cold, but she's fine. Okay, so the reason I'm like going really slow on this side is because once I turn it through, I'm not turning it back through to fix it. Sorry if my internet keeps jumping in and out or if the video quality isn't great. I don't know. My IT guy has been really lazy lately. It's my husband. Alright. So trimming down this seam allowance. I've got no other pieces, so we're ready to birth. been 9 months. It's ready to see the world. I don't know. That was weird. I believe so, Cheryl, yes. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I stick my hand in through this opening. I'm gonna unzip my zipper pocket, and I'm gonna go through the zipper pockets. No, I'm not. You could, but I'm just feeling where my zipper pulls are and separating them. This is not easy to do with like metal, but it is easy to do with nylon. So I'm just unzipping it. There we go. Cool. I guess I could like peek at it. I think it's fine. Ow. And then I'm turning it through the hole in the bottom of the lining. You could go through the zipper pocket if need be. Baby, let the games begin. Okay. So now I'm gonna start pulling. There we go. There we go. Lama's breathing. Okay. There we go. It wasn't too bad. Ah. We lost the piping on we lost the piping on one of the sides. There's nothing I can do about that. I can't unpick the stitches. So it's gonna have to be what it is. Luckily it's in the bottom corner. Not too bad. So it doesn't look great right now because we gotta put, no, I trimmed out all the staples. So we're gonna push out all of our seams, but before I get too worried about making sure everything is nicely pressed, I'm gonna sew up all the openings and then kind of massage all these seams. Right now it looks like garbage, but maybe it won't when I'm all done. All right, so I'm gonna unzip my birthing pocket. Oh, buddy's perfect. No, and I will never claim to be perfect. Hey, it's not perfect and neither is she. No, she's perfect. All right, so I've got the bottom of my lining pulled through. I don't hate this pattern in any way, shape, or form. I don't like the mess ups that I made, and that's what's making me not like it right now. Yes, my hands definitely hurt after a full day of bag making like this. All right, so I'm sewing that shut. does CJ help with any of this with me? Like bag making in general? Absolutely not. The only thing he'll help with is if I need him to like carry fabric down the stairs or something. Okay, so I am just really quick like rolling that seam between my fingers. The way I'm going to press this bag is steam my ironing board and then press the bag on top. But we're gonna sew this shut. Oh, I was like, why is there a weird stain on the lining fabric? It's because I cut my finger on a staple. It's not bad. I'm used to it. All right. So this zipper pocket honestly isn't super useful in the bag, but it made it easier for us to turn the bag through. Right? You better salt and burn this bag when I die, or I'm coming back to haunt you. I don't know. I thought this would be cute for like bottles and stuff like that, but hey, olives are a little wonky, right? It's so cute. See, once you kind of like press the seams out and let it breathe, it's not as bad. So I'm gonna clip this handle on, and then I'm just gonna add rivets. Yeah, the shape of this is so cute. I think if you were gonna make it a handbag, you'd want to, I don't know, cause like it makes it a little awkward to carry with a handle. Like you'd want two maybe rolled handles. That would be super cute. Two little rolled handles. And then you could add crossbody strap connectors here and here. Yeah, it does kind of look like a bowling bag. But as like a little vanity bag, it's super cute. You open it up and you've got a slip pocket in the front and then that zippered pocket in the back. So it's not bad. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna press. So right now I'm just warming up my ironing board using steam. This darn iron with steam. Pressing. Helps a little bit. It's not bad. Would I make another? 100%. Will I right now? No. But honestly, I think it would almost be cuter if like the opening were off-centered a little bit. But I really like how it came out. I think she's gonna love it. So I'm excited for that. So there's the zipper pulls. Yeah, I think if you were gonna make it a bag, it's actually a really cute little shape. I might recommend the Polaris bag by So Sweetness if you want like a round bag, because that one has two different options, which is pretty cool. But yeah, here's what the bottom looks like. Here's our secret piping. Oh, yay! So over time, that Decavol light will kind of smooth out and look nice. Yeah, I think she'll love it. Oh yeah, I have to rivet this handle on. Hey, I'm done. Chris, these are the flower zipper pulls that I have on my website. You think you like it without the side piping? Yeah. Especially if you're going to use like a bright color. Might help subdue it a little bit. Okay, there we go. Riveting definitely hurts my shoulder, but not too terrible. I've just been avoiding it a little bit. Rivet, rivet. I kind of want to get, do they have like Bluetooth headphones for a TV? I'm pretty sure they do. Kind of want to get something like that for my TV when I do like live sewing or something, so I can still watch TV but still live stream. Okay, now it's fully finished. So, oh, you have some, sweet. Maybe I'll, next time I get a Amazon affiliate payment, I'll get some. The AirPods don't work. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Oh, you have to get a transmitter too. Maybe that sounds like more work than I'm willing to do. Lower the table, maybe. It's kind of unlowerable though. So I'll show you what other bags I finished today, because I love them. That was meant as a question. No, I don't think they work. So here it is up close. Maybe in better lighting it'll look better. No, it's still not great. There's my face. I don't know. I think it's just me. I don't know. I probably should have used Decaville Light there. Foam on the main panel. I don't know. I still don't like the idea of foam on the main panel. So here's a pile of peekaboo bags. I did not finish those today. These are the only things I finished today. These are from the week. But I just finished this one since we were all talking about Supernatural. And this is with the modified back pocket, which I absolutely adore. There's that front pocket. I think I want to make one more before I go to bed, get another episode of Vampire Diaries in. Yeah, so many minis, I know. And we have 10 more cut out. Here, I'll show you. This is all fabric for sale, by the way. I don't know how they're still polka dot. This is all zipper panels and stuff. Tammy has been working like crazy. The 4 that I could make, there's a Belcher bunch. And I'm immediately subscribing. Oh, thank you. Oh, hi, Mallory. Yeah, I need to do like an updated studio tour. That one. I still have to pick out hardware for all of these. We just haven't yet. Oh, this Golden Girls one I'm so excited for. If you guys are shopping at FWD Fabrics for waterproof canvas, this is what the rose gold looks like, and it's pretty much like a pinky flesh tone. It's kind of creepy. This is going to be, I'm super excited. So cute. And then, so I actually, we turned what was going to be 5 backpacks into 10 by adding this little like pocket panel situation. I'll show you guys with the Snorlax bag what I mean, because I order my fabrics to cut and sew. So it was just like a small panel. Hello, boys. And when we cut it apart, we were able to make one without pockets and one with pockets. So this was just one section of fabric we were able to make into 2 different backpacks, and they're like twins, long lost twins. So here's all the other stuff I have ready to ship, and I'm just prepping for C2E2 in Chicago. So tons of kimonos, tons of backpacks, dresses, all that good stuff. Hey man, what are you doing? Get out of here. Nope, go. You're not allowed in here. Get out of here. Yeah, like Siamese twins, exactly. Go on, get. Stay out of the Walsworth. I do not make clothes. I design the fabrics for the clothing. And then here's my Supernatural poster that's signed. Hi, boys. Anyway. Woo, almost fell down the stairs. It's fine. This is fine. Okay. So that is it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed hanging out for almost an hour and a half now, I guess. This pimple I popped. Don't look at it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna sew just a little bit longer and watch some Vampire Diaries. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment on the uploaded video. I hope to kind of make this a more focused tutorial and less chatty for those who don't like that. But I kind of feel like I should make a different one since this one was okay. I don't know. But I'll see you guys later. Bye.